of the co-founders of the Free Knowledge Institute that we created in 2007 in Amsterdam. I'm involved with the social use of technology. So we share a worry about the ongoing centralization and corporatization of internet platforms and technologies.
Okay.
Because we come from this idea that we think that there is a very powerful possibility of change that emerges from the use of the internet.
Is there a reason to be concerned? Because a lot of people just embrace new technologies and they just work with it.
Let's say I was already concerned in the beginning of this century, when in the 90s we had seen the adoption of the internet and as a way of decentralized communication technology, which would then also allow the decentralization of many products and services and industries and ways of organizing in general. Yeah. So that is powerful, and partly that has been happening. So there's a lot of changes and disintermediation that has been ongoing, but also since that we talk about Web 2.0, like what was that in the last decade, things have been centralizing a lot. Think of Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft. They're these GAFAM, we call them, these platforms. They re-centralize in a way core functions of the internet. The way of how we communicate with each other is like mediated by these platforms.
Are there, in your opinion or in your view, certain values we should respect in approaching the internet or the Internet of Things? What do you feel about it?
Yeah, so there are several values. I think the internet allows us to share knowledge freely, but if it's dependent on big platforms or big corporations, this potential is limited. There's also the value of to protect one's privacy and possibility to be anonymous in certain occasions. That is the core foundation of a free society, that people can express themselves freely and in ways contribute anonymously and have control of their data and only them what they want to do with their data. And it is really limited already by these platforms that I mentioned, and the Internet of Things, although it has such great potential, has also these great threats. You can imagine that our grandparents can live longer at home due to the help of all kinds of intelligent monitors that we can use, Internet of Things applications at home, which is great, of course. But at the same time, all the data that is coming from that, in the hands of whom will that be?
Talking about the Internet of Things, you are involved with the Things Network, which is also an approach to the world of the Internet of Things, but different.
With several people, we came to the conclusion that LoRaWan was the most promising at the times that we're living to use for the next step in the development of the Internet of Things. And there is this huge alliance, the LoRa Alliance, which does this with lots of industry partners. But in 2015, there were initiatives in different countries, and especially the ones by Johan and Wienke in Amsterdam, starting the Things Network was really the most promising. And they did that saying, hey, everything that we do will be replicable and open source, free software built, so everybody can replicate and do it in a decentralized way. That was the mission.
And what you're trying to establish here in Barcelona, because that is where we are, is to create a LoRaWan network covering Barcelona.
What is the characteristics of this community network, right? It's a community network, just like basically all the Things networks around the world are community networks. We have some specific traits on that as well. Here in Catalonia, we are in the territory where Gifinet was born. This is the biggest community wideband network. It's like 35 or 40,000 users, nodes,
nodes,
that connect their shared infrastructure through a community.
Creating a sort of free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's Wi-Fi, but not only Wi-Fi. They have also fiber optics.
Okay.
But so the special thing of that is that they do it under commons-based rules. So they have a common pool resource. So they share their infrastructure under those rules that they have defined in a license that allows anybody to connect and to use the network. It's a big intranet. Then they have operators that connect it to the big internet under certain service provisions that whatever you want to contract. Well, we are like following their steps. For us, they are our big brother, and we work together. The Internet of Things, so we benefit from the developments globally with the Things Network globally. So we are the Things Network Catalunya. We have a driving team with 7 or 8 people inside. And we have a community with more than 100 people on the mailing list. And twice a month we meet for work sessions where we discuss the way that we deploy, the way that we do trainings, the way that we communicate about it, we think of this as a community strategy. Yeah,
but there's also a sort of a physical part on this. You have hardware which you use to create these nodes all over Barcelona. I think you brought some examples.
Yeah, I brought some nodes.
Okay.
So here you have the Things Network node. It's called like that, with a capital N node. The thing is that there are several sensors inside, temperature, movement, and of course the button. If we press the button, well, it's not the battery is low, so I cannot show that now. The nice thing is with this, it connects this with my mobile, and there you have the Things Network Mapper. TTN Mapper, which is a nice application. I can show that to you.
Yeah, sure. Go.
No, I'm not sure if you can really see that properly from mobile to mobile, but
let's try.
the thing is that this is an application with a server, ttnmapper.org, and if I send a message through my node or whatever LoRaWan device and it's picked up by the Things Network, I have activated that it's sending also a message to this web server, the TTN Mapper, and then the TTN Mapper application that I have installed on my mobile will then say beep, received, and this is the power, so many decibels. So
that's one.
Yeah. Here is an interesting project, LoPi, and I have in this case, the FiPi, this is from PiCom, from the Netherlands. You probably know them. They have started a couple of years ago on Kickstarter, so many of us backed them, and then they were able to launch the first product, LoPi, and this has 5 networks in it and a sensor board. So it's a sensor board with different sensors for movement and others. And I put them in this case. And here we have the Things Uno. There's all the documentation, and it's basically, I can unpack that. It is basically an Arduino Uno, but integrating a microchip for LoRaWan communication. And this is made from the Kickstarter campaign from the Things Network. So when they started this in autumn 2015, they promised this plus the nodes and the gateway. The Things Network gateways are indoor, and we are, as I said, collaborating with Gifinet, and to continue with that, it's very interesting because they have very good rooftop locations through the city, with neighbors that are consenting the installation of our community devices as well. So we install gateways there, outdoor gateways with the community. We install them there, and then so that gives us the connectivity. And on the other hand, we have because we're running a pilot program with support from the municipality of Barcelona.
Yeah.
You can read on our website, ttn.cat, where we do the deployment, we do different kinds of training workshops, technical, advanced and social workshops.
Yeah. For who is this interesting? For what sort of people are saying, okay, yes, this was what I was waiting for?
We have lots of different people. That's the interesting thing, of course. We have on the organizational level, we have fab labs, we have schools, we have research centers, we have social organizations and different kinds of companies. And on the personal level, we have people are just wanting to learn about this.
Sure. Yeah.
People say, hey, I care about my privacy. How do we solve that? People are, we had like this co-creation workshops. We started in March with that, and we had like 37 people around the table in different tables where we discussed privacy, energy monitoring, air quality monitoring.
Okay.
How do you go about allergies, right?
Yeah.
These kind of things
Okay,
are like one of the core interests now that we see in the community. But of course, there are also all kinds of private interests as well, how to optimize your warehouse and have asset tracking. Or we have one partner who has been doing facilitating the marathon, where people are running here in Barcelona.
Okay.
Put a tracker on them, and you could see on a map where each one is. Right.
Okay. So in many ways, the Things Network is also a people's network.
It's a people's network.
Okay.
It starts from there. We start from the people to take back that network, to build, take back or what's not there, build it ourselves, and make sure that you as interested person own your own data if you want that. That's really core.
That is what's important.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We're looking forward to have the whole of Barcelona covered with LoRaWan, and thank you very much for your explanation.
We one last announcement on the Maker Fair in Barcelona, which will be mid-June, 16, 17 June, if I'm not mistaken. Then we will be running a hackathon, the Things Network Hackathon in Barcelona, the first one, where with different teams we will be working on these kind of challenges in energy and air quality that I've mentioned.
So people can have a hands-on experience there on the whole LoRaWan project. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bisse.